my mindfulness segment for today was around the idea of knitting for other people, whether it's gifts or things that they have asked you to knit for them, or things that they are like paying you to knit for them. And the idea is like intention. So practicing mindfulness while knitting by kind of almost infusing intention into the knitted items. You know, so I'll give you some examples of this. When I'm knitting things for people, I am thinking about the person while I'm knitting, and I am often thinking like good things about them, and thinking like kind, warm things, because I know I'm knitting this item for them, and I have a lot of hopefulness that they will like it, hopefulness that it will bring them happiness, or that it will bring them warmth or comfort, that it will make them feel cared about and loved, because they know somebody who cared about them knit this just for them. The lace cowl, I had a friend who commissioned, I knit one for her just a month or so ago. And so as I was knitting it, I was thinking about just her and our friendship, and just hoping that she would feel cared about when she wore it. And, you know, the whole time I'm knitting this cowl, I'm thinking all these things and hoping and wishing all these things. And I'm kind of like intentionally infusing these intentions or well wishes or love into this cowl for my friend. So when she gets it, she gets an item that is just infused with these wonderful thoughts and feelings. And the same thing with my gloves for my husband, and as I'll knit him his socks, you know, I'm thinking about him on the river wearing these gloves, and I'm thinking about his hands holding his rod, you know, the river water kind of like splashing up on his hands, the salmon that he's gonna hold and get slime all over them, and how they're gonna grip nicely anyway because this nice Highland wool. And I'm just thinking about him having fun and staying warm and feeling loved and cared about as he sees these gloves that I knit for him, and he remembers that I'm there with him, and that I love him even though we are, you know, probably 1,000 miles apart at that point. Yeah, just infusing love, warmth, kindness, fun, and I'm imagining him wearing them and washing them and hanging them up at night and then taking them back down in the morning before he goes fishing. He's going to hang them up over the heater so that they dry at night while he's sleeping and dreaming about fish. And I just, you know, I infuse all of these intentions into my knitted items for the people that I'm knitting them for. And it's part of my mindfulness practice as I'm knitting for other people. I'll do it a bit for myself as well as I'm knitting items, but I do it a lot, very intentionally, for when I'm knitting other things for other people. Like as I'm knitting the fingers, like I imagine, you know, these fingers are going to be kept warm. These fingers are going to be free. And it goes into little details, like not wanting the edges to rub his skin and make him uncomfortable when it gets wet. You know, wanting to make this, I did a crochet cast off at the top, so this would be like a nice stretchy but like secure kind of bind off, so his hands wouldn't be like there wouldn't be any kind of constriction or tightness around his hands. So practical kind of things as well, but then a lot of just like love. I just think of it as I'm knitting love. And I think there's something to that. Like even if he doesn't know everything I put into these gloves for him, I think there's something very real about giving that to him, and he has it whether he knows it or not. So hopefully they will keep him warm and they will keep him loved. So yeah, so an idea for, especially as we come up into the holidays for a lot of people. Not everybody celebrates all the upcoming holidays, but a lot of people do. And there are a lot of birthdays around this time of year, it seems like. So as you're knitting gifts for people, or just as you're knitting for people in general, maybe infusing some loving intention, and practicing mindfulness in that way as you're knitting for others, and for yourself as well. I definitely do it for myself too. But like I said, it's very, very intentional when I'm doing it for other people. So yes, so that's our mindfulness segment for this week.